guys, my name is Celina L, and I wanted to take a second today. It's been about like a year that I've been on social media, and I miss it. I miss sharing. I sometimes miss talking about, what I'm doing on a weekly basis, and really just connecting with people that I probably wouldn't be able to connect with if I didn't, get onto social media. But I'm gonna be very honest with people. I don't like sharing a lot of private stuff because most of the things that I do want to talk about and share has to deal with someone else. And I'm real aware of just not talking about other people, not talking about anybody that might throw off their business or whatever it is they're trying to accomplish in their life. But I have a sister, same mom, same dad. Long story short, while I talk about this, I'm gonna just spray my hair. This is the Blue Rice Hairspray. I don't use labels on my home products. Like when I'm actually doing something, I don't put labels on them. But this is it, right? This is the Blue Rice Hairspray. I wanna show it to you guys because this was made like 10 years ago now. I'm more than 17. So this has got like maybe a 13-year anniversary life on it. I didn't think that, certain ideas that I had that long ago would actually like become kind of cool. I always wanted to incorporate my knowledge of herbs as well as just my experience with crystals and just different stuff that I've learned in life. I don't do stuff like this on camera because I just think it's a little pretentious and it's a little private and a little much. But I'm like, see? But I'm like, nah, if I gotta stay with the times, you gotta like take a second to express, share, show. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm switching up my routine. Right now is when I would basically put all these products into envelopes. I have a lot to ship out today. But if I don't stop to talk or share, I'm never going to switch up or see what I can attract in my life at this point. And I'm talking about just attract in terms of opportunity and meeting different people, things of that nature. I was sharing that I have a sister, and long story short, about 20 years ago, because our mom has been gone for about 25. Everybody goes through heartache differently and loss differently and mourning differently. I'm also showing what I'm doing because I think it's important to show before and after. Like 3 days ago, I made sure to not put any product in my hair, not do anything, just so I could come on here looking real dry and crusty, just so you guys could see the difference. I didn't think that lapis lazuli, blue rice, all the ingredients that I really took time to think and study and put into my products. I didn't think that it would become kind of like, oh, that's a good idea, let me try that. And when you are me, which is just somebody that comes from Brooklyn, lost their family and their home at like 19, right when I graduated, right before I graduated college, I always just knew that I had to really invest my energy into anything that I really wanted to see manifest because I wouldn't have help. There was no help, no investors, no nothing. So again, doing this years ago, I knew this is something I want to do. This is something I want to contribute to the world. And I don't see too many people really incorporating herbs in a way that can sell to the masses. So that was my focus then. Now I'm just really in a space where I'm grateful that I haven't had to post every day in order to sell products. I figure if I'm doing this for over a decade, if I constantly gotta show products on, my site, and just, I gotta be doing something wrong. Somebody told me a while ago, look, most real successful businesses, yeah, they have people that help them, but they're also not on social media all the time. They just use it as a springboard to share. So because I shared like over 50 videos and over 100 products, there was a part of me that was just like, okay, focus on just now putting them out in the world, right? Focus on, you know, emails and discounts and expressing what sales are taking place. But don't always have to do that in the circus that you become comfortable in. Why? My sister. I'm gonna get back to this story real quick. So I wanted to rush and say I'm gonna do this in under 5 minutes and all those types of things, but it takes about 7 minutes for me to do my hair. And because I haven't done it and I want to show you guys how the products work in it, I'm just taking a little bit of time. But I also wanted to just be like, yo, real talk, this looks weird right here. Real talk, this is why I haven't been on social media. It wasn't my own personal choice. I got a call a couple, maybe like years ago. This isn't the first time I've had this phone call either. But my sister has been living with heartbreak, and I'm not talking heartache, I'm talking about a broken heart. You know, losing our mom was one thing, but it happening on the day that we were kicked out of our home. Traumatic events definitely shape people and change people, and I've witnessed it with my own eyes, you know, experiencing certain things. I've always promised to never talk or share any experiences that I actually haven't gone through myself. So if I haven't experienced it, I really don't talk about it. And that doesn't mean that you can't, you know, someone was like, oh, you know, this grief counselor that's never, if you want to be a grief counselor but have never grieved, you know, kudos to you. It's just to say, things that happened to me in my past, I made conscious decisions to not align myself with the energy of just like hearing the sad stories, sharing, you know, traumatic events. It does have a purpose for some people, but for me, I felt like it would be an energy space that would be allowing me to rehash. And I don't really like talking about the same things more than a couple of times, more than like really once. But you know, when you put yourself out there in terms of like, oh, I've had a stillbirth, or I've had a cerclage, or these are the things that have happened to me, people are gonna ask questions, and it's up to you to feel like, okay, I already shared that, so let me keep it real. What I'm doing right now, I did all the blue rice hairspray because my hair was dry. I needed to add some moisture, and I don't do that in the shower all the time. I usually tie my hair up, and I wash it like twice a week, but on the in-between days, on those alternate 5 days, I wrap it up and I spray it on those days. So I actually spray it every day. But my spray, the blue rice hairspray, it's crazy because I wanted to mask like the medicinal rosemary and camphor smell, but these are the ingredients that really work in being able to stimulate your hair and grow your hair. And now that you guys have seen, you know, somebody's like, oh, I can't go against any major celebrity or corporation that's $1 billion corporation. And this is one reason why I said, you know what, I'm gonna make a multitude of products, because a product like this, the blue rice hairspray, it might get recreated, duplicated, copied, and I can't go against a major corporation. People are gonna buy a celebrity's products because A, they are advertising that it really works, and B, it's somebody that everybody knows. Who know me? I'm just making it happen a day at a time. And I say that to say, you know, sometimes people focus on like, oh, well, I did this well, so that's all I gotta do. I knew that I couldn't make like 5 or 10 products. I said, you know, it's gonna spark the idea for other people to do what I'm doing. And, you know, I gotta do more so that I don't just pigeonhole myself making money off of like 1 or 2 products. I know y'all are like, don't do that to your hair. I didn't bring my pick out. I have a little hair pick. I always take off my rings when I do my hair, so I'm gonna do that right now. Basically, these are my sides. Some people might be like, why is she doing her hair like that? I stopped twisting the front of my hair years ago. It started hurting. The more my hair grew, the lengthier it got. I didn't want my scalp to show. No problems to those that do have a very healthy scalp and aren't, you know, scared to show it. I just didn't want my hair because, as you can see, My hair is different textures. Like it's curly, it's 4C, it's 3C, it's whatever those C's and B's shits are. My hair is just different textures. And because, I don't know if y'all can see, because it's longer, this is why I don't do nothing. You know, because it's a little longer, it actually reaches my ankles now. I'm aware of that. I don't wear it up on my head because when I wear it like in a high ponytail, that's when I feel the weight of it. And when it's down, I don't really feel that. So you're just seeing me massage this through my hair. I might use a bottle of this a week. So this is exactly why I also don't sell 2 ounce, you know, I like selling 16 bigger sizes. Vascelina is what I'm gonna use to create a little texture in my curl and to kind of set my hair. As you can see, I did all of this. I usually do spray the shaft of it, but I'm already at like 10 minutes, so I'm just trying to think. So I bring them to the side, I spray. I make sure I do all of my roots and all that other good stuff. I don't like a lot, I'm trying to think it. I don't like a lot of, so you can see, it's healthy. This is my heavier lock, so I just make sure I move it to the side to get all of the backs in my hair. Also, don't wear anything that you're gonna destroy. This shirt is 8 years old and it's got stains on it. I can work out in it. I don't have to wear a bra, little things. So what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna use a Vascelina Rosemary's Baby, which looks like this. The Vascelina, the Rosemary's Baby, and then I actually mix a little of the Star Anise, because the Anise oil has been working wonders in my hair. Okay, boom. So that's what these little ghetto bottles are. I don't use bottles that have labels on them or that I'm selling to other people. Meaning, like I won't waste a $2 label on what I spray and put in my hair every day. It don't make any sense to me. So that's what you're seeing right now. Okay. So I'm moving on to the Vascelina. You're gonna see how it kind of, you'll just see. And I think at 48 now, I just kind of got like, you know what? If I gotta explain, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not 25 anymore. Meaning like, I can't keep doing, I did this, you know, for years now. I don't want to keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. So now that you shared and people are inspired and they have their own businesses and are inspired by your creations, you know, take some time to appreciate what you put out there. Take some time to connect with people personally. So I write everybody that, you know, purchases a product. I make sure my stuff is out in 3 to 5 days. Meaning like if you order on a Monday, your stuff is being mailed out on a Wednesday or a Thursday. And to keep up that consistency, I sometimes can't be on social media every day because people ask questions and then you're like, oh, I gotta answer the question. And you know, some people have like what they call like bots or, you know, an employer that might answer. I don't really like that approach with the customers that I've attracted. I like being able to answer people directly and be there, but that does require being there. And because I've really wanted to make sure that I get and have a consistency for years that people know, okay, if I order from this girl, I'm gonna get my product the same week. So, okay, so this is what it is. I sometimes gotta get real in the camera because I want you guys to see the difference in texture. All right, so I'm basically just stroking the tops of my locks, and I am going to just see the shadow and the light, just roll this in. But yo, my sister has done so much to me, and I think it's taught me how to forgive people, how to like not take things personally, how not to trust the wrong energy. You know, we grew up together. We weren't very close growing up because she was very much kind of indoors all the time, inside. And I was, you know, a Brooklyn girl. I liked going outside. I went to Alvin. I was a part of Dance Center of Harlem. So I was always after school going to tap class, ballet class, pointe class, doing something of that nature. And you know, my sister was a lot different. It didn't mean that I didn't respect that she liked being inside or watching movies or, you know, just being inside. It's just I didn't want to experience that type of a life when I felt like New York was just the epicenter of so much cool shit going on. I liked going clubbing at like 16. All this to say that we were very different and didn't hang out. So then boom, years later, this is like really fast forwarding the story. Years later, we lose our mom, and that was like a very big center of her universe. The same with me, but I had a little bit of a different social experience. So long story short, we lose our mom, and we get kicked out of our house by our family the night of her funeral. And that was an experience within itself, because I acted very strong. Okay, fine, y'all want me out, I'm out of here. Mika, stop crying, pick up your stuff. You know, I was very much like, let's just go. Where are we going? I don't know. And literally, we stayed with our aunt for like a week, and then my aunt was moving to North Carolina, so it was either go to North Carolina or get a job. So I got a job, and I stayed in New York. I put myself back into school. It was like that summer where I could have even taken off or, you know, go back to Syracuse. And I went back to school, graduated 2 years later, tried being there for my sister. I mean, my sister would come to my college. I introduced her to a lot of my friends. I introduced her to a lot of my high school friends, because, you know, she didn't really know anybody like that. And rather than feel like, oh, this is whack, let me just, you know, she's lonely, she's hurt, let me think. So what I just did was twist like the difficult parts of my hair right here, so that when I take them out in a couple minutes, the twist, they're all just like curly little ringlets and don't look like a little side afro on my hair. And some days I do that, you know. I think people have unrealistic goals when it comes to locks. You know, they are, excuse me, they are gonna have, I don't care if this gets oily, anything. They're gonna have a little bit of frizz on them because your hair is real. My hair isn't, you know, it's not yarn, it's not artificial. So not to say, yarn holds better. Artificial hair, they won't have as many spiralies. Like, you know, it can look silky and smooth all the time. My hair only looks like, probably like that for a couple of hours in the day, and then like right around 11 o'clock at night when I'm getting a little tired and I'm not paying attention to how I'm resting on it, that's when I wrap it up and literally just, you know, keep it in linen all night or cotton all night. Anyway, my sister, she did a lot of stuff. She did a lot of stuff to me. Like every 5 years for the last 20 years, I usually, and Asir can attest for this, I run into someone who's like, oh my God, are you sisters with so-and-so? She owes me this, she owes me that, she did this to me, she did that to me. It's like I haven't seen or spoken to this person in over a decade. You know, we go through decade spans where I don't see her for 10 plus years. She gave me a really crazy ultimatum. It's either live with me or, you know, live with me, break up with him, live with me, or, you know, not, either him or me. And I was like, nigga, you're my sister. You know everything about me. I'm 22, I'm a virgin. Like, let me live my life. I've lived with you since I was 19, since mom passed. I let you stay with me in college. I've let you, I mean, she did a lot of stuff. That's not even the most of it. We were supposed to try to get a little brownstone together. And this was like when I was maybe 23. You know, we had both maybe a little less than $50,000 in a life insurance policy. And, you know, I wasn't allowed to touch it until I was 21. So I had to wait from 19 to 21. Then boom, I'm 21. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just invest this in a brownstone. I don't have a place to live. You know, you put 25 down, I put 25 down, we could have $50,000 down. And, you know, we don't have to be homeless. We don't have to always be in apartments. Do you know, she lent my ex-boyfriend from high school, college, who she didn't really know like that. You know, like you see your little sister's high school boyfriend, but we weren't talking to her. It wasn't like she had a relationship with this guy. Anyway, She gave him $25,000 after we broke up because he asked her. So, you know, at the time I was like, wait a minute. I broke up with this guy because, you know, he wanted to be with somebody that was in the industry. And as a virgin, I just didn't think that my vagina should be compared to somebody that was with Puffy and Biggie and everybody else. It's like, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, well, I really, really want to be with this person, but now that he's with her, I don't even think I want him touching me again. And that's exactly kind of how I felt. I was just like, wow, you know, before I went to college, I'm gonna keep it real. I was like, look, be with girls, be with your little ex-girlfriends, do your little high school flings. I don't want you to resent me after college or during college because I decide I don't want to be with nobody else. Like, if I'm in love with someone, I just rock with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really the type to be like, oh, let me test my waters here, let me test my waters there. I don't really do stuff like that. That doesn't mean that I might not have in another life. It just means that for me, losing my mom at that age, and I think, you know, losing her at 19 and then at like 21, my mind was just on getting out of the bursar's office, being able to pay for my, you know, books, having some place to come home to when I, you know, finished a semester. Like, that was where my head was at. So I had 3 jobs. I wasn't like dating. You know, I was like, okay, I got my little high school, college boyfriend, thinking that I had things added up. And really, it was just to say, he was like, nah, you know, it's cool, whatever, thank you for giving me that freedom, but maybe that freedom made him feel like, you know, I didn't care, or I don't even care to get into it. What I do know, though, is I was like, yo, real talk, you want to be with her, and she gonna buy you a car and get you, cool, I don't have it like that right now. I'm on the come up, and it's nice when people can stick with you through difficult times. I don't think he wanted to. I think witnessing my mother's passing, as well as hearing how my family kicked us out, because he was upstairs. The night of the funeral, my ex-boyfriend was upstairs. He heard everything. He, to this day, is probably still the only witness I have to that night, what happened, other than, you know, my sister. I think that, okay, I can't get anything from her. Let me go to the next girl that I know is vulnerable, and they'll give me what I want. I used to say to her, I hope he gave you some dick, because $25,000, our future, you gave to my ex-boyfriend? What? Like, I was so like, yo, not only is that a betrayal and, you know, not sister-like, but this nigga played you so good. Now he really ain't gonna want to talk to me. Because my main question is gonna be, why would you step to my sister, who you know is a little emotionally not there right now? Why would you ask her for that? He didn't care. He got what he wanted. Opportunists will come up. And after that, I kind of was like, yo, I'm really, you know what I'm saying? She never visited me in college when I had a show. She only visits like people that I introduce her to. She has burned like 6 of my really good friendships. You know, I've had to warn my girlfriends and other people like, yo, y'all know what we went through. I appreciate you looking out. But then I had to be like, it's not your responsibility to take care or to be there for her. She's older than me. She's real educated and smart. But none of this equates to somebody taking care of themselves or figuring out how to transmute grief, figuring out how not to always start every story as the victim, figuring out how not to be like, I mean, my first apartment, I just met the girl. Not even a week of knowing the girl. My sister comes through and talk about, oh, you know, we have $50,000. I'm like, why are you telling this stranger about our life, like her life? Why are you doing that? Why do you start conversations with, this is what happened? You know what? Rather than ask why, I'm just going to now have to move, because what you're doing is you're destroying friendships, because not every girl, after that, the roommate Wubnesh stopped paying rent, started just taking my weed, taking clothes, doing stuff. I'm like, I haven't even been here a year and I gotta move out, because my sister told this girl that I'm Donnie Warbucks, and that, which I wasn't, and now I don't have anything. Now I don't have any protection, not anything, any protection, any way to live my life without feeling like, my roommate is comparing or doing whatever. That led to a lot, a lot. It was the first hats off to, okay, this is how she's moving. After that, I got, my own apartment, like 5 blocks from her, so I'm always visiting her. It wasn't enough. She had sex with my best friend at the time. It wasn't enough. And I'm saying that to say, I was like, yo, bestie, like, she a little, he was like, whatever, maybe he couldn't hit it, I don't know. He decided to be with her. Okay. That didn't manifest and work out. And mind you, these are all things I'm discovering through my friends. It's not like my sister's like, yo, real talk, I had a nice little relationship with your bestie, and, we did a little. It's like, if you know about every sexual experience that I've had, why can't you be honest about what you're experiencing? Okay, not gonna ask that question anymore, moving forward. Then she did other things like I guess when I found happiness with the seer, this is what happened. I found happiness with the seer, and like my first boyfriend, mind you, I've only had 2. One with a college high school, now I'm with my husband. She did everything. Don't walk her home at night. What are you doing with her? You're more my age range. Every person in my life, my sister has literally tried to sway, take over, allow to be her friend, to the point that I was like, this is crazy. And one elder said to me, what it is, it's not that you have to do anything. It's that you were birthed. Ever since you were alive, your sister has been comparing what you have with what she has. And that was hard for me to digest because, my sister's light skin, I'm the brown skin one. From a young age, she got more attention. She was always picked. So much so that my mom was like, look, people are gonna do this with her because she's vanilla, you're chocolate, and a lot of people in this country will pick vanilla over chocolate all the time. Don't feel thing, don't ever take it out on your sister, y'all are both gorgeous. She was really, I'm a little sweaty, she was really encouraging me to not take it personal and to know that that's just the way the world is, but how I see it, how I view you, totally different. So that's to say, I never thought that my sister was growing up a little insecure or a little, I never even processed that. We never had any issues with light skin, brown, darks, nothing. That's not what was in our reality. So I just was like, wow, she told people that I stole her. So many things that she then expressed, oh, I only did that because I was angry at you. It's like you're doing things that are really putting me and my character in a position to look like, I'm a thief, I'm a liar, I'm a cheat, I've left you out here in the lurch, when really I've given you everything. I wake you up to work out, I feed you, I take care of you, I'm the younger sister, I'm giving you money, I'm buying you laptops, I'm doing whatever I can to show you have support. And she did everything in her nature to show me it's not enough and I'm done. So I have my kid. My sister doesn't see me in 15 years. My locks are a little longer. I have a son, he's 3. I'm like, I really want, so I get in touch with her. She meets up with me and my son and all that. Oh, nice little talk. But again, no, I'm sorry for anything. I don't expect it, but I would think she would be like, yo, real talk, I'm sorry I called you to ask you for help. Because she let me know about the money that what she lent when she took the guy to court. She took my ex-boyfriend to court or something, and it didn't go well or whatever, and then she called me, I need help in court. I'm like, for what? That's how I find out. I'm like, you ain't need no help when you gave him the money. What you need help from me? Still listened and all of that, but I was like, yo, I'm tired of enabling and digging her out. I'm tired of always being there for someone who will never, I never befriended any of her friends. I never talked about her to anybody. I would never talk to a boyfriend, call a boyfriend, try to be close to anybody that she was close to. I never did any of those things that she did consistently. So still, boom. To summarize the story, years had passed. I mean, my sister would take, the one time I trusted her, I said, okay, let her be with my son. I'm in the house. She take my son outside into the swimming pool when it's thunderstorming. I'm like, girl, you could get electrocuted. Boom. Overflow the bathtub. Now my floor all wet. The floor thing. If I leave my sister with anything, it's like she does things purposely to be like, rescue me. See, I need help. And I'm just like, yo, you're doing this for the wrong intention. Now I'm not going to let you take baths in my apartment because you flooded it. Now I can't let you watch my kid because you don't have the discernment to say, it's thundering outside. All of this is to say, she stopped wanting to talk to me after that 3rd year. I gave her some money. She, I'm here for you, all of that. I think that it was just difficult for her to consistently be a part of my life or be kind to me. No problem. Another 10 years passed. I get a call. This is the second call. I get a call from a mental hospital in New York. Your sister's bipolar. She's schizophrenic. She's suicidal. This, that, and the third. I never wanted to share any of this because I'm like, she's still on the hunt to be a healer and to try to help. Maybe it's working. A lot of hurt people are able to heal. But I also think a lot of hurt people need to take the time to heal before they go to someone else and talk about how they can heal. But that's my personal opinion. At the end of the day, I get this phone call, and it's like, look, your sister's, on suicide watch. Basically, I am triggering her. My social media posts, the fact that I'm married, the fact that I have a kid, every move I make, I feel as though now I'm triggering this person. The therapist is telling me, these are the things she sees and that it's expressed. And everything is based on what I'm showing, what I'm experiencing, the business that I've developed. It doesn't matter that I was homeless for years it wasn't years. I was homeless for like a year or had to figure out why all my money went to rent my college loan so that I could free up and get my degree. If you owe a university money, they'll hold on to your degree like crack. And until you pay that crackhead his money, you're not gonna get your crack. So I literally had to do jobs and wait tables at the Odeon for years. I mean, I would serve people that I did their term paper for in college. I would have to serve certain people that I was like, wow, I did that nigga's psych paper. That's how he graduated. But where am I? He with his wealthy family, and I'm serving them ricotta pancakes. Okay, humility, humility, humility. All of that is to say, my sister has done so much that after the second call of the suicide watch, I was like, yo, real talk, I gotta get off social media. I'm tired of people comparing. I'm tired of people thinking. I'm tired of people being affected by what little I show. I don't have no car at the time. Like at the time, I might have just started getting my credit back up. This is like 10 years ago. I couldn't believe that at a time where I might have been financially at my most destitute is when everybody thought Asir and I had money or we were really living well or, yeah, we try to clean our clothes and keep our, Salvation Army fines like hot. But no, we are struggling out here. And then if you work for the community and you're for the people, sometimes they're like, okay, well, I paid you, so no, I don't need to pay you. Or you're smart, do this for us for free. And I had to start to just realize, like, we're not going to get anywhere in life if I don't switch things up. So even using a bad situation like the fact that my sister was on suicide watch is what actually led me to say, I don't want to be on social media right now because not only are people moving here from the neighborhood I moved out of in Bklyn. I feel like you got to know what you attract. Do you attract people that are kind of obsessive with you? Do you attract people that, see you and just keep it moving? Kudos to y'all. I had to realize that Asir and I attract people, different types of people. They're either amazing or people that are really like, we'll wait outside of our building to see if they can catch us or talk to Asir. Excuse me. And that to me is also crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But it's also like a sign of endearment. Instead of looking at things crazy, maybe you should be like, wow, that's really nice. This person thinks. So I started doing that for a while, and it still was attracting certain energy that I was kind of like trying to keep boundaries on. All of that is to say, I now am grateful that I took that time off, because last week was the first time I heard from my sister in 10 years. I mean, I'll write this person consistently, birthdays, my mother's birthday, ghosting. And being ghosted like that has really, it strengthened me to not take things personally, to not feel like offended, to not chase people, to let people go. I'm sorry, I'm sweating so much under the sun. To let people go that don't want to be in your life, all of that. And, you know, I also am grateful that I don't always feel like I need to put a post or do something also. I can email the 5,000, which should be more, but I can email people and be like, hey, a product's on sale this week. And still connect with people. It just be done differently. And I had to figure out how to do that, because I didn't want to be the one responsible. And again, if this person passes away, you have to be strong enough to go, I didn't have anything to do. This is what this person's life was. These are the choices she made. But because this is my sister, there's still a part of me like, damn, Mom, I'm trying to look out, but I can't be burdened by something I didn't create. And I also don't feel that it's my job. But at the same token, that's how everybody feels with someone. Well, it ain't my job. It ain't my job. So I just didn't want, I felt like, God, please let me know this person is okay before I'm just out here posting on social. And not that everybody would care like that. I've had people be like, why do you care? That girl don't even care. Just because somebody don't care about you don't mean that your level of caring has to stop, or that you have to become some different person because, you know, she's treating me like this. Yeah, my sister treats me a certain way, but that's what she's gonna have to deal with in her lifetime. The choices that she's made, the things that she's done when I didn't do anything to warrant that type of behavior. So now, you know, she called me last week and was like, you know, one of my steps in sobriety, step 9, taking responsibility. Sorry I gave you an ultimatum. I'm sorry I did this. And, you know, she might have been sorry for 2 or 3 things, but there's so much other stuff that I was like, why would you never come to any of my Broadway shows? Why didn't you see me in this? Why didn't you see me in Port Gambas? Why didn't you ever visit me in Syracuse? Why did you only visit people I introduced you to, but never visited me? Why, instead of being like, why, I just started to be like, just take care of yourself. Be good to yourself, Celina. Stop feeling bad that you aren't allowing her to live with you. You have a son, you have a husband, and it's gonna affect them. And I'm not doing all of that. I'm not gonna be another version of my mother. I used to think my mom did such good things for people that didn't give a shit about her. Won't celebrate her in the afterlife. I've had friends from high school that knew my mom real well, will never mention her, act like she's nothing. And that's another thing that I learned. Like, don't expect people to give you your flowers here or in the afterlife. Just be grateful for the moments that you're alive and that you have a business to be proud of. You know, I never thought that the blue rice or the lazuli idea would matriculate into the universe. I never thought that putting fresh herbs in my bottles, people say, oh, you know, people don't care about this. People don't care about ingredients. They don't care about labels. A lot of people do. And yeah, I might not have a storefront. Someone said, look, you need this, that. I said, look, I've seen people open storefronts with not one professional label on their bottle. They don't even have ingredients on their bottles, and they got their storefronts. Don't compare your level of success to anyone else, because you don't know what they did, what they had to go through, what they've experienced to get that. You know, I'm grateful because I know what I come from. I come from a brilliant bloodline, a brilliant mother whose life was taken very short by a hospital. And I come from a great lineage of people who sometimes get overshadowed and are overlooked, but it's not based on anything that I'm not doing. I don't feel at this stage in my life where I have to always, hey, look at what I have, look at what I'm doing. It's like, I'm 48. If people don't know I sell products by now, it's because I need to do more social medias, but it's also because they just haven't come across it. You can't do anything more. If you want to make consistent products and not be on social media all day, then you might have to allow people to know, hey, I'll answer whatever questions you have, but let me write you personally instead of posting everything through Instagram or Facebook. Because now, a lot of people still value one-on-one time, and they still value the fact that you'll take moments out of your day to do that. And so for those people, even for the gentleman that wrote me yesterday, I think Joe Ortiz, I think is his name, thank you. He said, look, your shampoo is the only thing that makes me not have a scalp, dandruff. It's rid this, it's rid. And I was like, wow. Another person wrote me today, and she was like, your products are the only thing that I can find on the market, that I can buy on the market, or on the market, that are as consistently as good, and it doesn't have shea butter, to even show you this, like the Vascelina, my Hair Magic, all of my hair butters dissipate and just go into like a clear consistency right away, because as you can see, my hair is so thick and it's so different in terms of its length, in terms of its texture quality. I just wanted to make stuff that I knew is not going to be altered recipes wise, is not going to change over time, and that I could trust. Because people say, oh, this Oregon bottle of whatever, and it don't have no Oregon in it. I can tell those things now. Or this bottle of so-and-so, it has this. I'm very grateful. Yes, my locks are to my ankles, but I've trimmed them so much. Like these, my back ones, I had to learn how to take care of a little more. These ones right here, see, these are a little shorter. I cut a lot of them just to keep the health and to make sure I'm not just carrying length of something that might be a little compromised at the end of it. So I don't do things like that. I don't like showing a hair video, because it's like, okay, boo, I could do my hair, what the hell? But that's how it changes. It goes from very dry, very crazy looking, to nice and chill and whatever. And all it is for me is a spray. I have 2 different sprays, the cherry curl juice, the Hair Magic, the musical hairs, the Goji Guru, the blue Hair Magic. All of these had to be made because I can't imagine if I was just relying on, consistency or relying on finance with a couple of products. Even if those products were like life-changing. I know my Rosemary's Baby and my Blue Rice Hairspray is 10 times better than anything on the market. It doesn't have the alcohol in it. It doesn't have chemicals in it that are clouded as fragrances. It doesn't have any of that stuff in it. But I'm also not a celebrity. I also don't have a huge team backing me. I have the people backing me, which to me, look, I have extra stuff on my hand. I could put it on my lip. I could take all this oily stuff, it could be on my forehead, not break me out at all. Those are the things that I'm so grateful for, because I couldn't find anything that was that for me or for my son that didn't have soy butter in it and shea butter. A lot of shea stuff is mixed with soy now, so just be aware. Same thing, shout out to all those that have started their businesses, whether you were inspired or whatever. I just know the power of herbs based on, I can show you my knee scars, my keloids, like I have so many scars, my burn scars. I'm so grateful that I stuck to my guns, and even though it might not be the most popular, just because you aren't on social media don't mean that you're not going to have a successful business. I already said to myself, I can't do all of that and make over 150 products a day and get them out and be on social media and be sure. Even this took some time. Now I could take all of my products and put them in envelopes. So I'm going to do a part 2. I just wanted to share that. Not everybody knows how to deal with mental illness. And I used to think that it wasn't real. Like, I went through the same thing she went through. And I was younger. How? A therapist said to me, you are able, whether it is I get on my bike when I feel a little stagnant, I do yoga, I work out, and I've tried to do this for her. My sister went from like 260 pounds with the same height to like 160. She lost like 100 pounds with me. Then when I didn't see her for 10 years, she said, well, you know, all of this, all of my weight gain, it's because you're not in my life. You won't, you know, I don't have you to exercise. I said, you can't put that on me. These are your choices. This is your life as well. You can't make me responsible for your weight gain. But yeah, this is the nature. And I used to be like, I don't think my sister's bipolar. I don't think she's schizophrenic. I think that certain lies that she's told and certain stories that she's told haven't worked. So she had to hold on to those stories so she didn't look crazy. And now, in not getting the attention she wanted as the victim, now she's truly become this crazy victim. Now she's truly is this role. And I say that because I couldn't believe that the choices she made, she thought were gonna lead her to a better space. It's like, you can't choose strangers over your family. You can't. You actually can't. But if your family didn't do anything to you and you're doing those things, it's just to take a step back and say, why don't I like being around? And so rather than ask those questions and be annoyed at the ex-boyfriend and be annoyed, I said, that's why that nigga don't befriend me or nothing. He borrowed $25,000 from my sister and won't ever pay it back and won't ever act like there was anything wrong with that because he's cute and everybody nah, don't peak at high school. Don't allow people and their little looks and their little whatevers to make you feel like, well, I gotta hold on to them, so let me just no. The best decision was saying, word? Okay, I gave you freedom to do this, that, and third, meaning not gave you freedom. But I said, look, you can get out of pussy jail card. You can have a lot of them with me. We're young. I don't want you to resent me because I came into this relationship as a virgin and you didn't. So do all of you. I trust you enough to not bring any. When that dude threw all the rules out the door and was willing to make like what I would consider somebody, he was willing to make somebody who at least had 50 to 80 partners, and that's on the low number. Because if you Puffy's girlfriend, if you Biggie Small's girlfriend, if you in all their videos, shout outs to you, Sean, because you had a lot to say back in the day. And what did I do? I was like, that woman is 10 years older than me. I'm not going to talk about her, show pictures of her, this is why your ex left you. A grown-ass woman is doing all of that. To me, a little hype. A girl, you know what? This girl ain't happy. Let her have this little young boy. The young boy might discover this girl was just using him to get at me or to prove to him, like, look, I could do it. But whatever the case is, I did not put myself in a position to be a second choice or the first choice. Nah, if you're not gonna treat me like top tier, no problem. I'm gonna move on to find that treatment because I treat you like top tier. I cook, I do all of that. So if I can't have a little of that in return, you're not gonna say, look, it was nice smashing, but my wife, my high school wifey is here, and I'm not gonna put anybody above her. You ain't do none of that. So make her your wifey, make her your girlfriend, do all of that, have a good life. I'll stay 22 as a virgin. God will attract me to whatever it is I'm supposed to be aligned with, because it ain't no nigga that's gonna treat and do what he doing to me. Especially after how he's seen me become a winner. After homelessness and losing my mom, and even after 9/11. Do you know that life insurance money was taken from us? So even the other $25,000 that my sister would have had was taken. The other $25,000 that I would have had at 21 was gone. Oh, the market is horrible. 9/11 happened. Your mutual fund is gone. That's what took place with people that didn't have millions of dollars. So now we not only lose our mother, lose the life insurance, lose everything because we didn't make moves when we could because we were young and all of this to say, what am I gonna do now? Now I'm not gonna be bitter. I don't want to be one of these people that's like annoyed to seeing other families and other mothers. I'm the most happy to see a mother and daughter relationship because I know how amazing mine was. And I never have been envious or jealous or like, oh, it's messed up. Never. And sometimes I feel like that's really why God has me in a space where, you know, I'm grateful enough to have a space to work, not in my house, but also wake up to not looking at Flatbush Avenue, but I have a little beach view. It's actually a big beach view. It goes all the way down. And that's not something I ever dreamt of being able to have. So actually I did dream about it, but I didn't think I would be able to manifest it. So I'm just very grateful that those small things, without a storefront, no, I don't own all of the things. No, I'm not there yet. But I'm grateful I'm not sick. I'm grateful that I'm healthy. I'm grateful that I can do 10 pull-ups. I'm grateful that my knees aren't in utter pain. I'm grateful that you understand? And yeah, I wanted a sister. I wanted a sister that I could trust. I wanted a sister, but that's not what I got in life. So am I gonna still just keep saying, God, why me? No, just say, look, some people have siblings that don't like them and don't get along. She says she loves me, but the things that she has done has clearly shown me that there's something off balance. So instead of trying to figure that out or to make her prove, I'm just gonna live my life and just keep moving. But hearing, okay, thank you for, that's why I said I'm gonna get on social media. And I'm not blaming her for not. I'm just saying that I didn't want to be responsible for her sadness, her trigger into whatever. I don't ever have to be on social media again. I do it because I actually love to connect with people. I love creating moments where I can meet new, and I'm not gonna do that if I don't do this. But I also was kind of settled with being okay with all of that, because until I get a green light to move forward, it's like when you find out certain things in life, are you gonna ignore them and just say, well, I didn't know? Once I find something out, like once I found out she was suicidal and in a mental hospital, that's when I was like, oh no, you gotta pull back. Whatever, just pull back for a while, and if you get the message or the whatever, then do it again. But I can't do it the way I have been. So thank you to all my supporters, CordobaOrganics.com. I just wanted to touch base with everybody today. I'm gonna start doing a lot more videos, and just thank everybody for their love, their support, and for their kindness and their consistency, and just always, yo, Celina, I tried this person's product, and real talk, that shit ain't. Next month, I'm going back to Celina. And that's what I really appreciate, is that try whoever's product in the industry. I always say, you're gonna come back around, because something in the feel of what I make is just unlike, because I know I'm making it. I'm putting the herbs in it. I'm doing stuff without a levo machine. I figured out how to distill, how to extract. Those are things that no school book could have taught me, so thank you. CordobaOrganics.com. Peace out.